How's it going, guys? This video is going to be outlining how to get your Rogue maxed out using only 4 nodes and only 3 teams, all of which are raid teams, which is perfect. Rogue is a very, very good, very fun character in the Cosmic Crucible sense, and then she's pretty mediocre elsewhere, but you need her for Apocalypse anyway. This is a really easy way for a newer player to get a 7-star 4-red character, which is a very impactful character in multiple modes, and so it's important to know. So here we go. What you're going to want to do if you want to use this method is difficulty 10 with the following packs put on. Gloating, Power Siphon 1, Devil Bargain 2, Gloves Off, Poison Energy 2, Unkillable, Weakened, Dark Rally, Bleeder 1, Off Balance, Power Siphon 2, Going Rogue, and Stay Down. Alright, before we get into the gameplay, let's go look at the teams that we're going to be using for this. The first team we're going to use is going to be the Spider Society team. Now, when I did this, I actually had to use the Superior 6, which was fine, but not nearly as impactful as the Spider Society is. Now, this Spider Society team is sitting at level 80 Gear Tier 15, but I've heard level 75 Gear Tier 14 works just as well. The ISOs here, I don't hate the ISOs. You could put Healer on Peter B. Parker, but with his assists, it's a nice way to get extra vulnerables out as well. And if you wanted to make Ghost Spider a Raider just for this, that'd be good. I prefer as a Striker in raids, but when she's not doing that blind, it makes sense to have her as a Raider. As far as T4s go, the passive here is really just giving damage, and it's getting the damage in raids as well. It's damage on her, like, passive retaliation. It's not that big a deal. The passive here also from Noir is just damage in raids. That's not going to be impacting anything. The passive on Peter B is also in raids. Safeguard. This character has 3 or more Spider Society allies. I can't read the rest of what it does, but I don't think this is necessary. I've heard from somebody that I trust, that they don't need any T4s to get through this whatsoever. Most of their T4s are a raid balance. You see here, this Penny doesn't even have 6664. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rectify that. Actually, he doesn't have enough purple ability materials for this. Let's see. We're going to want this one for sure. Let's go ahead and get this one powered up a little bit here too. Clear all negative effects. We're going to want that one. And can we still do the basic? Okay, so we don't even have the special. We don't even have it at 6664. The reason I'm laughing right now is because I waxed the first node with this team a second ago, so that's going to be fun. Let's look at the second team that we're going to be using, and that is going to be your Hivemind team, but we're not going to be able to use Cosmic Surfer, Symbiote Surfer, aka Voidnet. We're going to be able to use him, so we're going to have to sub in a different city character. You can look at characters like Vulture, or possibly a surviving Spider Society member. There's going to be them, so don't worry about that. But the Hivemind team is uniquely poised to take on the second node, as you'll see. As far as the ISO setup goes here, it doesn't really matter. You want to have enough vulnerables working its way in and enough strikers, especially on the Gwenom, because she does give energy when she does her basic. That's going to be pretty important, right? As far as T4s go, we have one on Goblin. I don't think that's where he gets the damage. No, it's not, so you don't necessarily need that one. You would want the T4 onto Carnage. This is going to give you an extra 10% speed bar, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that one on. Again, you can see Carnage here doesn't even have 6664. I didn't realize some of them were missing 6664. The Venom doesn't have 6664 either, and Gwenom doesn't have 6664. So this is not even a raid-ready team, and they're going to be perfectly fine. And the final team we're going to use is the same team we used in the last video, the Morgan Le Fay video, is going to be our Xtreme X-Men. This is a much more developed team. Gear Tier 15, level 80 across the board. This is the ISO setup. The T4s that matter the most here are going to be the Nightcrawler passive, the Sunspot passive, and the Gambit special. That's really all you need. Let's go do some gameplay. Alright, so heading into node number 1, we're going to use our straight Spider Society team. If I can find them. Bloop, 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 bloop. Whoops, I guess they'll be in the raid tab, won't they? So straight Spider Society team, once again, if you want to make Peter B. Parker a healer, I think that's perfectly acceptable here. But they are extremely well equipped to take care of this first node. I got through it super easily one time, and then not so much the second time, and now we're on the third time. So I do want to make sure you guys know it's not going to be automatic, even with these teams. Now, this is a extreme punch. And you can see there's Gear Tier 17, level 94 characters. Some of my characters are level 80, Gear Tier 15. Some are Gear Tier 14, level 75. And the fact that we're able to get through this is pretty remarkable, right? But if you have to do a few resets, don't let that bum you out. Now, What I would like to do is I want to make sure I take out the Captain Sam America and the Blob. The reason we want to take those two out first is because we plan on one-shotting this node now. If we had to two-shot this like I did with my initial time, and I had to use Superior 6, then I want to take Cable out. But if we have Spider Society, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to make the decision to go for these guys over here. So you want to start by getting rid of the Blob, because the Blob does give deflex to Captain Sam. If you luck out and you get the Disrupt to land on Captain Sam with the Noir Ultimate targeting Captain Sam, you can go that route. Instead, for me, I'm just going to take out the Blob and then work on the Captain Sam after that. I'll special targeting the Captain Sam here, though. If I had the T4 on the Penny here, which I don't, as you saw earlier, then that could actually land a stun, and then this whole thing is that much easier. We could spread a couple of these nasty debuffs to our enemies. Nothing landed on Captain Sam because of his insane block chance. But Blob is now gone, which is going to make it easier to get through this Captain Sam. Alright, go for Captain Sam. And once Captain Sam is gone, it's going to call in that next wave. I guess before even. I'm actually going to come over here and give all these guys offense down and disrupt. And then let's make sure we finish off the Captain Sam. So it's kind of a waste of a stun, but because I know Penny's a striker, I guess she flips the death proof anyway. That was just a waste of the stun and the energy, which I guess is just going to go to show how amazing the Spider Society team is, the fact that they don't even need that to get through this. Alright, so now we got these last guys. We do need to be a little bit concerned here, because if the Magneto groups us in and gets blind on us, it's going to snowball to a very, very annoying degree. Let's get a slow on him. Try and stop that ultimate from coming as much as possible. We'll take that speed up off of him. And of course, the X Factor bros coming in there. Every time they get a crit, they're going to give themselves speed bar. So that could be a huge snowball issue as well, right? Alrighty, we're going to go here. Again, if I had the T4 here, then this is an auto win, because that's a stun on top of the Magneto. I'll accept death as a secondary consolation prize, though. And now, after Magneto's gone, I want to start focusing down this long shot, because long shot is the passive that gives them the speed bar. If the Spider Society team lives through this node, it's going to make the next node all the easier. I want to save as many cooldowns from Pav as I can. And there you go. That's me for the first. So heading to the second node, we have two options. We can just hit it with Spider Society again, if you just want to put further investment in Spider Society, or we could use the Gimmick and use our Hivemind team. I'm going to show you the Gimmick, because these are both raid teams. You should be building up both these guys anyway. Okay. Alright, so for node number 2, there's a couple options that we talked about. We can do full Spider Society. We could use our Hivemind with a character from the Spider Society team that might have lived if we lost some people on the way. Could be Pav, could be Noir. Those are kind of your only two options. We could use Vulture here, but one thing is consistent. We need to get a kill on the Greg, depending on his spawn. So with Pav here, he's going to go very quickly. He's actually going to give speed bar, which might be enough in and of itself. But ultimately, we want to get a kill on the Greg, because that's going to give our Hivemind characters 30% speed. And the main thing we need to do here is get a stun on that Gambit before he absolutely obliterates us. So see, the Greg spawned over there beside the Wong. He could spawn in front of the Wong, or in front of the Hela, or in front of the Bishop. So there's a 50% chance he spawns where we want him to. He didn't this time. This is where we'll see if Pav is going to pay off if he goes all the way over to Greg. He kind of danced around Greg, so that's not exactly great. But we're able to... Actually, no, we're not, because Pav didn't do enough damage to the Bishop. This is an auto reset at this point. So if we were to have killed the Greg, what happens is our Gwenum gets more speed bar than the Bishop does, and she's able to get a stun on that Gambit before he rips us apart with his passive. And that is why you're able to do the node with Hivemind. This is the gimmick, right? The gimmick is we stun the Gimmic and we just spam kill the Greg for that 30% speed bar as much as possible. We take out the entire first wave before we even consider killing the Hela. And if we can carry the Hela all the way in to the second wave, then we do that as well. So let's see if Pav wants to go ahead and hit that Greg for us this time. Looks like that's also a no. Let's go ahead and reset this again. 50% chance sometimes feels like a 5% chance in Scopely RNG, right? Here we go. Yeah, if a full Spider Society team, if you just build them up higher, I like that too. Spider Society has unseated the Xtreme X-Men team as the primary raid team, in my opinion. Yeah, he really likes that spawn spot today, huh? All right, Pav, get on over there, buddy. There we go. There's the kill on him, which is going to give us more speed bar than the Bishop gets. And now we got the RNG stun on Gambit. And he did not resist it. Plus, we killed another Greg, giving us even more speed bar. So now what I do is I just want to continue killing the Gregs. I don't want to take those debuffs off of Gambit, though. So, of course, do not use the Carnage special targeting the Gambit in that case. Alright, we unfortunately have to take out this Greg. We want to keep our speed bar up. Single target is not fun, but it's something we got to do. We use the ultimate here, killing a Greg, giving ourselves offense up. Also giving us lots of energy. Alright, take a Greg again. And now, because we only have 4 symbiote members, we do got to remember that Wong will eventually take a turn. We're not getting enough speed bar to be lapping these guys. So we want to get ahead of that Wong before he ults us, because that is a very, very scary ult. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to spread all these debuffs from Proxima over there. But of course, if we push more than just the Greg, we do end up getting additional speed bar to carry us. Alright, I'm going to go right after this Wong now. I'm going to go back down here and hit this Greg. I was hoping to push that Morbius. No luck. I'll put an ability block on Wong. I just don't want to get stuck behind the Wong's taunt. My phone is getting a little heated because we're doing all 3 of these Scourges back to back. Alright, so if we were to die here, guys, that would be a reset. Looks like we're going to be fine. Alright, next we'll get a stun on the Bishop. This is going to stop his retaliates, which is really nice. And then we'll go back over to this Wong. Guarantees us to hit the Greg. And we're just maintaining the speed lead as much as possible. As much damage as Wong as could. Great. More energy here. Tell you what, I'm definitely feeling not having as many T4s. That's for sure. Alright, let's take the Wong out. There he goes. Next, I want to focus my attention on the Bishop here. I want to take him out as well. We'll ult here, giving ourselves defense up and offense up. Looks like Hela is about to ult us. Might be a good time to take her out. There you go. No ult from her. Gambit's going to bleed out. Bishop is going to bleed out. Let's help them along the journey. And now nothing left but that last wave. So in this wave, we really want to stun the Agatha. And then we want to control the Dazzler. I'll wait till I have Venom taking a turn, because Venom is going to be able to bypass the dodges on the Dazzler. There we go. We'll avoid putting any debuffs on the unlimited members, because that does give them speed bar. Venom is back with his second turn, which is going to be an ability block on Dazzler. And then from here, it's pretty much over. Alrighty. And now we can hit auto. And that's basically the win, guys. As soon as you get through this city section, it's going to be very, very easy to finish up. And this was the Hivemind team that wasn't even 6664. This is actually a smaller team than what I did it with. And truth be told, we made it harder on ourselves by not simply just bringing Spider Society in here. Spider Society could have came in and beat both of these nodes at the level we had them at, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So you have a couple options. That's going to lead us into node number 3. So let's go ahead and talk about that node. All right, guys, so heading into node number 3, we're just going to use the Xtreme team. And this is going to be very similar to the Morgan Le Fay trial, if you watch that video, where it's pretty automatic. It's pretty automatic. So I'm just jamming out. I'm going to do a lot of editing. Alright, so what I really like to do is I really like to stun the T'Challa over here. He's kind of like the only big threat. And then we're going to do some controlling effects onto people like Hawkeye, who's got a turn meter rewind, and Kate Bishop, who has the buff strip. So we get to spread out these ability blocks and those stuns to those 3 members. And then from here, we're just going to do as much damage as possible. Now, because we're only doing 2 nodes here, as opposed to the 4 that we did at the Morgan Le Fay event, you do want to be mindful to get as many charges on Sunspot as possible, because that's how he gives energy. It's according to how many charges he has. So make sure with your Sunspot, you're attacking into as many vulnerables as humanly possible. It shouldn't be difficult, because you should have Raider on at least Gambit and Nightcrawler, hopefully Cyclops as well. So you have like a lot of targets that are going to have the vulnerables. And of course, the retaliations don't hurt. They give you some charges as well. Alright, so let's get the defense down on them, targeting into a vulnerable. We'll go ahead and do the special. Not sure why I did the special. Probably should have just did the basic. We'll ult with Gambit here. We got 5 charges on the Sunspot. Means we're going to get 5 energy. We'd like to get that up to at least 7. For no particular reason. I just think that's a fun number. We'll stun the Ebony Maw here. We could, of course, leave the Hela alive and just farm off the Greg. Yeah, he's got a vulnerable. Let's go ahead and hit into him. And now we're up to 7, so that's good enough for me. I'm happy enough to move on to the next node like this. But maybe I'll be greedy and go for one more, yeah? Alright, that's going to bring us up to 9? Yeah, 9 charges. That's perfect. And Gambit, or sorry, not Gambit, but Cyclops sitting at 20 charges, so he's going to have an amazing ult. Sorry about the lag. My phone is getting incredibly hot. Yeah. Alright, and the final node, node 4, again, of course, just hitting with the Xtreme. We're going to have so much speed here. The Nightcrawler stops the Emma speed reduction, makes it even easier. And from here, with the energy and the Cyclops ultimate, this wave is a complete joke. Or this whole node is a complete joke. I'll start with the ultimate here, get them all slow. Yeah, I'll do the ultimate from Sunspot as well, give them all defense down. This first wave used to be the difficult wave. Not really anymore with the addition of Nightcrawler here. I guess we should love tap that Silver Samurai in, huh? And that's going to be it, guys. That is how you're going to be able to get your hands on a 7-star Rogue. One of the... It's probably the second easiest to invest in because, again, it's all raid teams. We got the Spider Society, Hivemind if you want to get fancy with it and have fun with that gimmick, and then the Xtreme team that just waxes it down. Now, of course, if you're watching this in the future and these are no longer the raid teams, you're going to have a different calculation to make, right? So this was done at the tail end of May 2024 if you're watching this in the future. There's probably even better teams, or maybe they made these events not even nearly as restrictive. Maybe everything's open by this point. One could hope. But guys, as I said before in the Morgan Le Fay event, these Scourge events were actually really fun. And if you wanted to just do it normally, do it properly, I think that is completely reasonable. I know that when these first came out, we loved them. We absolutely loved them. We went hard on them. A lot of people complained about the reset nature, but everyone always was as hyped when the next one came around. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it got you your 7-star Rogue, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.